My name is Rick Wayman. I am the CEO of the Foundation for Climate Restoration, and I'm very excited to be with you today. Welcome to our monthly conference call for September 2022. The purpose of this call is to inspire you and to forward our collective work to create the political will to restore the climate. I know I'm really excited that we have some new guests on today who are new to the call, new to the Foundation's work, and our local chapter work. So welcome. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Sam Daley-Harris. Sam, for those of you who don't know, founded the anti-poverty lobby Results in 1980. He co-founded the Microcredit Summit campaign in 1995 with Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus and Finca founder John Hatch. And Sam also founded Civic Courage in 2012. Sam coached Citizens Climate Lobby during its first 7 years of building local chapters, and he has coached the Foundation for Climate Restoration over the past 12 months. He's the author of Reclaiming Our Democracy, Healing the Break Between People and Government, about which Jimmy Carter said, Daley-Harris provides a roadmap for global involvement in planning a better future. Ashoka founder Bill Drayton wrote, quote, Sam Daley-Harris is one of the certified great social entrepreneurs of the last decades. So Sam is here today. One of the things that he's going to be doing is to tell us about a great idea that he has and great methods for inviting people to join us in these monthly conference calls moving forward. So that involves writing and calling, and we're going to hear more about that in just a minute. Sam, I think you, as much as pretty much anyone, know the caliber of the people you're talking with today. But I want to share a story. I'm not sure if you've heard this story yet, so want to share this with you either way. So our Pacific Northwest chapter has been focused on strategy in order to help support a decarbonized economy. Mike Robinson and the Pacific Northwest chapter of F4CR met with two women named Rachel last month. One works in Congresswoman Jayapal's office, and the other is Director of Climate Initiatives for King County, which houses Seattle and the surrounding area. With the King County representative, Rachel Brombaugh, they had a good chat about carbon dioxide removal and greenhouse gas removal. CDR, for those of you who don't know, is the acronym for carbon dioxide removal. So they talked about the concept of CDR, but she wasn't aware of the breadth of different methods. So they were able to talk with her about that, send some follow-up materials. And then they also, the chapter also had a great meeting with Representative Jayapal's climate staffer, Rachel Madley. She was a bit confused about carbon capture and storage versus carbon dioxide removal, and was worried that carbon dioxide removal could be an excuse for fossil fuel companies to continue business as usual. So Mike Robinson was able to explain the difference between carbon capture and carbon dioxide removal, which is extremely important. We've got leaders in Congress who deeply care about the climate, and basic confusion about these terms can stall meaningful action. So it's really wonderful that that our chapter members were able to do that education in a respectful way, and one that has opened their eyes to a different angle of what it is that we're working on. So Sam, excited to turn it over to you here. I want to remind everyone, please be thinking of questions to ask Sam as he's talking. So Sam, over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rick. Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to be with you. I would normally be talking to you from my home in Princeton, New Jersey, but I'm in Seattle at a World Vision advocacy camp. So I'm not quite in control of the lighting and the sound, but I think this will work in any event. I also want to say that usually you would have a guest speaker who's an expert on some aspect of climate restoration. And that's not me. I'm an expert on citizen empowerment, why we seem to be so broken around being citizen activists. And so that'll be my focus. For me, this call is about looking for our next breakthrough. Many of you on the call have had a breakthrough in the last year when it comes to meeting with elected officials. We've had dozens of meetings with elected officials, and many had never done it before. Others have had a breakthrough with getting a letter to the editor published. Now we're looking for our next breakthrough, a breakthrough in recruitment, a breakthrough in bringing new people in engaging the disengaged. And so I'm going to start with 3 quotes that answer these questions. Why would you invite others to our next call, October 1st and beyond? And how would you invite others to our next call, October 1st and beyond? I'm going to share my screen. It's going to take me a moment to get set up. Let me just go from here. Here's the first of the 3 quotes. I'm going to adapt it in a moment for climate change. But originally, the late Republican Senator Mark Hatfield of Oregon said this in an op-ed dozens of years ago. In 1985, he said, "We stand by as children starved by the millions because we lack the will to eliminate hunger. Yet we have found the will to develop missiles capable of flying over the polar cap and landing within a few hundred feet of their target. This is not innovation. It is a profound distortion of humanity's purpose on Earth." And I'm going to restate it. I've adapted it for climate change in a moment, but I just want to say that I use this to thank advocates, and I want to use it to thank you for your commitment to correcting the distortion of humanity's purpose on Earth. This is my adaptation of that quote. "We stand by as the climate warms to dangerous levels because we lack the will to reverse climate change. Yet we have found the will to develop missiles capable of flying over the polar cap and landing within a few hundred feet of their target. This is not innovation. It is a profound distortion of humanity's purpose on Earth." So why would you invite others? That's what these 3 quotes are about. That was quote 1. Because you're committed to correcting that distortion of humanity's purpose on Earth, and you can't do it alone. And there are others in your life who share that commitment, who may not have found a way yet. Next one. Oh, this is my favorite. I heard Paul Hawkins say this last December, and he said, basically, it's estimated that between 98 and 99% of humanity is disengaged. Oh, your friends might be engaged, but between 98 and 99% of humanity is disengaged. From the Earth's point of view, there's no difference between a climate denier and someone who understands the problem, but actually doesn't do anything. And I'm going to repeat it. I love it so much. It's estimated that between 98 and 99% of humanity is disengaged. Oh, your friends might be engaged, but between 98 and 99% of humanity is disengaged. From the Earth's point of view, there's no difference between a climate denier and someone who understands the problem, but actually doesn't do anything. So why would you invite others? Because one job of an effective advocate is to bring new people in, to engage the disengaged, to help your friends and family and others in the community find meaningful action. And here's my final quote of this series. And this is from inventor and futurist, the late Buckminster Fuller, who said, "The things to do are the things that need doing, that you see need to be done, and that no one else seems to see needs to be done. I'll repeat it. Fuller said, the things to do are the things that need doing, that you see need to be done, and that no one else seems to see needs to be done. So why would you invite others? Because through your advocacy with the Foundation for Climate Restoration, you see things that need doing that others might not yet see. And we need to let that in. So let me make this quick distinction between transactional advocacy, sign the petition, transaction complete, and what the Foundation for Climate Restoration chapters work is committed to, which is transformational advocacy, where advocates are trained, encouraged, and then succeed at doing things they never thought they could do, or doing things they'd never done before, and as a result, see themselves in a new light. They see themselves as community leaders. So this is a question. Has transformational advocacy been a gift you've received from your Foundation for Climate Restoration advocacy work? Has it allowed you to see yourself in a new light, to see yourself as a community leader? Would that be a gift to those whom you might invite? And so this month's action sheet, and honestly, we've done this before, but we're looking for a breakthrough. Our action this month will be to write and then speak to 2 or more friends or family members, inviting them to join you at our national conference call on October 1st, and stay on afterward to write their U.S. representative urging support for the Federal Carbon Dioxide Removal Leadership Act. So before we go to questions, which we'll do in a minute, please put in chat other ways you could recruit new chapter members, other ways you could do chapter outreach and grow your chapter. Now, Diane Warren went over some of these on our previous call. I'm going to have some folks come off of mute and read what you put in chat. I'm going to ask Terry or Rick if you would call on people. Let me read the question again. Could you put in chat other ways, not just write a friend and call them up and invite them to the next month conference call, October 1st. What are some other ways you could recruit new chapter members? Other ways you could do outreach to grow your chapter or the chapter you're forming, really. Terry or Rick, is there anyone who's put something in chat, and might you ask them to come off of mute and just let us know what they've put in chat?
Okay, there we go. Tiffany, do you want to unmute yourself and let us know what you just put in chat?
And Tiffany, where are you calling in from?
I'm in Arizona.
Great.
So I said collaborate with like-minded organizations. When I first started to try and ignite my chapter, I went to a Green Chamber of Commerce event and I met some good people there. I'm also connected with ASU, Arizona State University. And so I've been working with some of the heads of the College of Global Futures, and we're looking to get a student and business people all like a chapter club going on in conjunction with ASU.
Great, fantastic. Thank you. Rick, Terry, anyone else who's got something?
Yeah, we've got a comment from Philip and then Sarah.
Philip, why don't you unmute and introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Philip Pascal, chair of the North Bay chapter of Fans of Climate Restoration. And I'm in Petaluma, California. And I've been the chair of the chapter since I first heard Peter speak about 2 years ago. Peter Fikowski, that is.
Great.
And Erica Dodds. And you want me to read what I put in chat?
Sure, go for it.
Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I put in ask current chapter members to take the action. So there are 4 North Bay chapter members on today, and we've got way more than that. So they're not hearing this, and unfortunately, they should be here.
Okay, great. And there's the conference call recording that you could share with them too. Thank you for that, Philip. Rick, let's do one more and then we'll move on to a more open Q&A in a moment.
So this is being recorded?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so next we've got Sarah Wolf.
Hi, after reading the book, I ordered 12 more copies, and my intention is to send them to people who I really respect in the scientific community in Minnesota, who we've been working to develop policy with, and ask them to read it and then have a conversation with me afterwards.
Brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, the question was other ways to bring new people in. And if you're excited about a book and you order 12 copies and send them to friends, that would be great. I jotted down a few, and we're going to move on. Tabling, Tiffany said, connect with like-minded organizations. I want to just throw out the idea of, if you go to a talk, a speaker, a panel on climate change, don't just go for the talk. Go early and talk to people, and don't just leave when it's over. Stay late and talk to people and what brought you here and what'd you think of it and how are you already involved. Letter writing party on Zoom or face-to-face, whichever you're comfortable with, getting a group of 5 or 10 or 20 or more together to write letters to the representative on the bill or something as another way of bringing new people in. Speaking at a community event, tabling at a community event like the one on top, like a farmer's market or Earth Day or beyond. Inviting newcomers to a meeting with an elected official, but only if they agree to practice with you beforehand. So I have 2 last questions, and then we'll just open it up for questions. I'm going to come off of the screen. So do you have any reflections about having a more powerful role in your democracy and your ability to make a difference on climate restoration out of your work? Now, some have never been on this call till just now. Maybe it's a bit of a moot point, or maybe it's relevant. And how does your personal mission motivate you in this work, motivate you to speak and be a leader? Now, we're going to open it up to questions. I'm going to come off my screen that way, and we can just go from there. Rick or Terry, whoever wants to.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, I'll just jump in here. Thank you, Sam. That was really fantastic. And yeah, just to be clear, we are currently recording this, and we'll be sending that out. So if there are any details in Sam's presentation that you didn't quite take note of, you will have the opportunity to see it as many times as you want. So we're open here for questions for Sam. If you have a question, please raise your hand using the reactions link at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and I'll call on you in the order that I'm seeing hands up. So yeah, if anyone has a question to get us started, please go ahead and raise your hand. All right. And, oh, there we go. Cynthia, thanks for getting us started. Cynthia, if you'd go ahead and unmute, introduce yourself quickly and ask your question.
Yes, I'm Cynthia Canavy from the North Bay, which is in San Rafael, California. And I just want to know how you keep yourself staying positive. I must have asked at least, I don't know, 15, 20 of my friends, and they all say, oh, well, good. I'm so happy that somebody like you is taking care of this, but it's not for me, or I'm not interested, or I'm too busy. And it's like, I just get really frustrated. It isn't like I'm not trying, but I just can't seem to engage them. So would you have a magic wand?
No, I don't know that there's a magic wand. Let me just say, in the training section at the end of the call, we're going to actually, A, write some lists down of who we might invite, B, role play a call where I'll, let's say, be you calling your friend, and then go into some breakout rooms and practice inviting. Let me just say this. My route in was originally in 1977 on the issue of world hunger to activism. And before I got involved, I remember the activist comedian Dick Gregory would run 50 miles a day across the country to bring attention to world hunger. Harry Chapin, the musician, would do concerts and talks afterward. And I would always think I was really glad there were people in the world like him who would do big things about a hopeless problem. And so I would often say when I'm talking to a group, if you're thinking you're glad there are people out there like me, that's how I started, being glad there were people out there like somebody else. So, you know, I think you want to get good at what moves you about this work, briefly expressing what moves you about this work. Leave us not pretend that we're inundated with despair and discouragement and cynicism. You're not inviting people into a condition of hope. You're inviting people who are very discouraged. I love this quote by Alex Steffen. He said, "Optimism is a political act. Those who benefit from the status quo are perfectly happy with the large population of people who think nothing's going to ever change. In fact, these days, cynicism is obedience." I love that. In fact, these days, cynicism is obedience. What's really radical is being willing to look right at the magnitude and difficulty of the challenges we face and still insist we can solve those challenges. Your original question is what keeps you motivated? My answer is looking at the activists. I mean, hearing your story about your letter to the editor, maybe there have been several, hearing Mike's story about meeting with 4 elected officials, you know, and one was the chair of the committee, just getting inspired by people who are in action, not getting discouraged by the ones who say no.
Okay. I'm still trying. It's just that some days are better than others. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, great question, Cynthia. And yeah, thanks, Sam, for your answer on that. Okay, next I have Diane Warren. Diane, if you could just quickly introduce yourself and where you are, and then ask your question.
Okay. I'm Diane Warren. I'm in Northern California, north of San Francisco. My question may be very similar to Cynthia's. I've been looking at, well, how many times I failed lately, and but what I've been also looking at is where am I spending my time, and then, you know, something I came up with was being more directed to action. And I think our very basic action is being on this monthly call and taking the recommended action that we were trained for. And that's what I want to be my focus for a while. And it sounds like that will be my focus for this next month. And I'm grateful. So whatever you can say to that, great.
Yeah, you know, it is a similar question. And I'm going to share a quote from Apollo astronaut Rusty Schweickart, who said, "We aren't passengers on spaceship Earth. We're the crew. We aren't residents on this planet. We're citizens." The difference in both cases is responsibility. You know, everyone wants to make a difference, and beyond in their family, of course, and beyond in their community and beyond. Everyone wants to make a difference on big issues. They aren't equally in touch with that. I mean, somewhere deeper down it is for some people compared to others. And, you know, I think maybe we just need to keep finding those who are most likely to be engaged. It's been tough the last 2.5 years with COVID. There haven't been that many talks you could go to early or panel discussions you could go to early because it's all on Zoom or something. And, you know, you don't have that connection. Well, maybe it's coming back a bit, but yeah, we just need to keep at it.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, I think we've got just time for one more question here from Melanie, and then we're going to move on. So Melanie, please go ahead. Is it just me or can?
No, not hearing Melanie.
Okay.
Melanie,
I'm sorry,
well,
I'm
good. There you
double
go.
muted
There you go.
here.
There we go.
My apologies. Sam, the quote that you shared a moment ago before the astronaut quote, who was that?
Alex Steffen,
Alex,
futurist and a climate activist.
thank you so much. That was
Yep.
beautifully moving.
Great. Rick, why don't I say it once more before
Please do,
and then
yeah.
we can go to the next section. Optimism is a political act. Those who benefit from the status quo are perfectly happy with a large population of people who think nothing will get any better. In fact, these days, cynicism is obedience. What's really radical is being willing to look right at the magnitude and difficulty of the problems we face and still insist that we can solve those problems. And that's really what you're doing on this call. That's what you're doing in your participation with the Foundation for Climate Restoration chapters. I'll look for it and try and put it in chat.
Great. Thanks, Sam. Really appreciate that. And yeah, Melanie, thank you for bringing that back again. That's such an important framing. So Sam, thank you. That went by really quickly, but really appreciate all of the dedication, the deep thought that you put into building this transformational movement for climate restoration. It's wonderful to have you here as our guest speaker. Really grateful for everything that you've done to build up the Foundation for Climate Restoration's profile, our work, and build the confidence and capabilities of our dedicated volunteers around the world.